Undisputed versus Undisputed. Well, it's looking like Jermell Charlo will no longer be undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world after he fights Canelo Alvarez September 30th. Did we see this coming? Yeah, I think we've seen this coming. Tszyu has been hell-bent on getting his opportunity to fight for the WBO title. I mean,
the fact that he hasn't fought in nearly a year and a half. I've been mandated to fight for the WBO title for nearly 3 years now. There's too much politics, you know. If he's not fighting, then the belts have to be vacated. It's quite simple. It's not fair because the whole division's been held up because of him. So it just doesn't make any sense to me, you know. So right now, it is what it is. That's how I see it.
An interim champion since beating Tony Harrison, Jermell Charlo hasn't fought since his last fight last May of 2022 against Brian Castano. Been out of the ring since. Been over a year, but he's going right into a fight with Canelo Alvarez. It was supposed to be Undisputed versus Undisputed, but the WBO checked in and said, look, man, you can't be sitting there babysitting this belt. You got to make something happen. And since you're not fighting in this weight class, we're going to strip you after your fight with Canelo Alvarez. Crazy, right? But where does this leave guys like Terrence Bud Crawford, who was looking to get a shot at Jermell Charlo, right? Well, at one point in time, Crawford was going to use his WBO super status to be elevated up into a fight with Jermell Charlo. However, now that he's the undisputed welterweight champion, other sanction bodies may allow or grant Crawford access to face Jermell Charlo for the WBC, WBO, IBF titles. I'm not sure if IBF does it, but I'm sure the WBC and the WBA likely would do it. You know, I know for sure the WBO does it, but the other sanction bodies, I'm not quite sure. But nonetheless, Jermell Charlo likely won't be undisputed champion after his fight with Canelo Alvarez. Now, if he beats Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds, yeah, he becomes undisputed in that weight class. Now, will Jermell Charlo stay up at 168 pounds if he was so happen to beat Canelo Alvarez? I don't necessarily think so. I think that's a one and done type of deal. Maybe he'll stay up there, but I think those guys at 168 pounds is a little too big for Jermell Charlo. But nonetheless, man, after Jermell Charlo's most recent, I guess you could call it a call out from Crawford. Crawford was knocking Spence around the ring, and every time he knocked him down, he looked around to go find Jermell Charlo to go taunt him and tell him that he's coming, he's next. So Jermell Charlo, he should be going after Terrence Crawford somewhere in the near future, right? Now, Tszyu will be elevated to WBO champion. Who was out there for Tszyu to fight at 154 pounds? Will Tszyu welcome the challenge of a guy like Terrence Bud Crawford, who prior to fighting Errol Spence and gave his thoughts on the fight, he had Crawford winning that fight. And when asked who he would rather face, he said he'll rather fight Errol Spence Jr. because there's bad blood, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Crawford wins, but I'm hoping Spence, so I can get my hands on him.
How do you think the fight plays out?
I just said Crawford wins.
Yeah, but
12 rounds, I reckon, outsmarts him. I think Spence is a tough challenge. He's a big boy for his weight, but I think Crawford's just a touch smarter.
Crawford wins, would you want to fight him potentially? No.
If he wants to come up to 154, I give my respect to Crawford more. I want Spence because he's, I don't know, got a bit of bad blood. That's what I want. A little itch to wake up to. Wanting to take someone's head off.
What is it about him, mate?
Just his comments. I've never commented back, so I want to get one up.
Where did it start? Where did that start from?
Terrell Boucher.
Oh,
Yeah.
You bet on Boucher.
He bet on Boucher, he lost his money. Then he bet on Harrison, he lost his money.
A lot of guys don't seem to really want to go nowhere near Terrence Crawford unless they really, really got to. So yeah, even Tszyu, a bigger guy than Crawford, doesn't seem to be interested in that fight per se, right? More interested in Errol Spence. However, Errol Spence couldn't get the job done July 29th. Jermell Charlo, Canelo Alvarez is the next big fight we're waiting for. Jermell Charlo will be undisputed going into the fight, but after the fight, he will no longer be undisputed. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.